Hello, and welcome back to the Hot Action Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kerr, and this is returning guest host, Spreaddaddy69.
What's up? You
Yeah,
got
yo.
it.
Finally, we've got him back on camera, or on camera for the first time. Last time we had technical difficulties; we couldn't make it happen. But we figured our stuff out. We took care of business, and we got him on screen. I think
Yeah.
it's a huge value add already, just in the opening seconds of the pod.
Let's get it.
So I think last time we had you on was week 4, so it's been a minute. If I recall correctly, your uncle had recently defeated you in fantasy, who'd never played any fantasy before. I'm not sure if he was familiar with the sport of football before he had defeated you in fantasy. Besides that, are there any updates with that scenario or in gambling in general that you should make
Oh
us aware
boy.
of since then? Yeah, I mean, it's probably been quite a
Uh,
roller coaster.
I never started the season thinking I was hotter shit than I was in my life. Fantasy went well. I went on a heater to end the season. Uh, I think I placed third in both leagues, so that's not bad considering how badly I started. Yeah, I'm on my second self-exclusion of the NFL season from
Ooh.
gambling, just because every time I was not excluded, I was punching myself in the dick,
Oh
basically.
no.
So,
So we're down
uh,
bad. We're down bad. I mean, that's what I'm
we're
getting.
down bad, but happy to talk about picks. I actually juiced an account specifically for playoffs, so we're gonna see if it doesn't get too out of control this time.
So the self exclusion is it's being released, this very weekend from if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly. And
Yeah, you
we
got
will
it.
we will find out by Monday if you continue to punch yourself in the dick.
My New
I
Year's resolution was to win big this playoffs.
I love that resolution for you, for us. I mean, it's not here yet, but this year, the calendar year is the year of the dragon. So we are going big this year. I think we
Super
got
auspicious.
it's highly
Mhm.
auspicious for us and for everyone. So the only thing you can do is gamble. So yeah, let's end this. What did you call it? A self exclusion.
Yeah,
Let's end the
we're
self
coming out
exclusion
of
with a
our
bang
cave.
here. Or let's come out the gates hot. We're gonna be previewing the wild card round. The first 6 games of the playoffs are this weekend. The big dogs get to rest this week, so we get to see the less big but still pretty big dogs scrap it out. The games start on Saturday, and firstly we've got at 1:30 p.m. we got Cleveland Browns at Houston Texans. Uh, you can get 2 points on the Texans, and the over under is 44 and a half. Let's start with the spread here. So clearly they're thinking Cleveland is the favorite. Um, I think that's a pretty sharp line. What do you think?
It is a sharp line. I actually hadn't taken a look at the line before hopping on here, and that actually surprises me a little bit. I thought the Texans might get slightly more.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Flacco mania. I don't I like the Texans better as an organization, but if I'm going with the hot team, I'm going with the Browns, which I think is the move at this time of year. Just go with the team that's kind of trending in the right direction. Although
Hmm.
they did have a pretty declarative game to beat the Colts at the end of the year. The Texans did, I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know too. It's just Texans have had a lot of injuries too, and
Yeah.
I would have loved to see strength versus strength game. So that's also factoring in how I feel about this game.
But if the spread was a bit bigger, I feel like I'd be incentivized to take the Texans, but with the spread this narrow, I think I'll be taking the Browns. Do you have any
I
thoughts
think
on
you got it.
the total, the over under 44 and a half?
I think both teams got big play ability.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm historically a guy who loves the under.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I'm leaning that way still as well.
It might be, one of those scenarios like I've kind of been talking about all year. Like the this year, it was like the overs were barren for the first about 10 weeks.
Mhm.
Then they just kept showing up. I think though now that it's the playoffs, the marks are back. They'll be given the lines. They'll be juicing the overs and they'll never hit. You
Mhm.
know, they'll
Vegas is
be
going to be farming hard here,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Vegas will be farming the noobs. I think it's unders all weekend. So
Dude,
I'm gonna be
it,
betting on Miles
game's in
Garrett.
Cleveland, right?
Sorry.
Game's in Cleveland, right?
Is it? I think it might be in Houston based on this. I think the home team's
Oh,
on the
sick.
bottom
Okay.
here.
Because I was gonna say, you play a winter game in Ohio with that
Yeah,
defense, like that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
an under
That's
all day. I'm
that's
not shaking. I'm not shaking off of this.
no. Houston's a dome, and I don't think it's gonna be too cold in Houston either. But I do think that if this was outside in Cleveland, the over under would be like 38 instead of 45 or something like that. Like there's gonna be some fumbles in Ohio. Uh,
I just like the under. I always
yeah,
gotta stay with the under.
yeah.
Like I
Okay,
ride with
so
the under all day.
it sounds like you and me are both on Cleveland and the under.
Yeah,
Okay,
100%.
that's game one in the books. Then we've got the second Saturday game. Um, I don't want to be flippant, but I think this is the game of the weekend. Actually, we got Miami Dolphins at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kind of the cream of the AFC crop in terms of a matchup. Um, Chiefs are at home, and the Dolphins are getting 4.5 points. The over under is 43.5, and I believe the weather report calls for insanely cold.
Bone chilling.
Yeah, bone chilling.
Absolutely.
I've heard Miami fans are complaining that the players might die of hypothermia, and that you
Yeah.
can get a ticket to this game for this is an NFL playoff game, and you can get a ticket for $68.
I mean, damn, $68. I don't even know if you could go to a CFL game for
Uh,
that these days.
I was gonna
So,
say you can stand in the parking lot during the regular season at a Seahawks game for that much. Yeah,
100%.
like that's
Like
one beer and a garlic fries.
the thing I'll say about the weather too is that the coach, said last year, "I wish it was colder." He wore a T-shirt saying, "I wish it was colder." You got your wish, buddy.
Who
It's
did?
colder.
Mike McDaniel?
Yeah, he
Oh
wore a
no.
T-shirt when they had to go to Buffalo last year and
Yeah.
said, "I wish it was colder."
Damn,
Here's your chance, big dog.
that was a huge fumble by the Dolphins losing that game against the Bills last week. That they could have had like a home game this weekend, I think. Instead, they miss out on winning the division, lose their home game. They're playing the Chiefs away. Like even
It
though
really,
the Chiefs have had a pretty unimpressive year for their standards, and the Dolphins have had quite an impressive year for their standards. But now, when it comes to you know nose to the grindstone where the rubber meets the road, I'm thinking the Chiefs are gonna take this game down. And am I crazy to think that?
I don't think you are. And I actually expected, like, I think the next couple of games we talk about, I think we're gonna be split a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like for a game like this, especially 4.5 as well,
Mm-hmm.
like I gotta tail this one because like
Yeah.
for all the reasons that you mentioned, and I think that when you look at Miami's track record against strong teams
Yeah.
this year, it looks pretty
Positive.
piss poor.
We go.
And
The teams with the positive win rate have not made Miami look very good this year. They've clowned on the fools, but the
mhm.
what do you call it? The the winning teams have made them look foolish. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um,
so for that reason, I gotta go with Chiefs, even though it makes me a little bit sick to say that because I would love to be bullish on the Dolphins right
Look,
now.
I've been cheering for the Dolphins all year, but I don't gamble the way I cheer.
It's a
And
painful lesson to learn,
yeah,
gambling
it's a
the way you
painful.
do.
And if you've watched all year. My inability to bet on the Seahawks shows that, like, I am not completely perfect on that, but I try not to gamble the way I cheer. I try to keep separate my mind and my heart.
100%.
Okay, now we got the Sunday games. Sunday morning, we got a pretty big spread here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. The spread is large. The spread is 10 points. And the over-under is low. 35.5 points. Now, to me, that suggests that they're expecting like a 24-10 kind of game. Something like that. Like, because like that's how you win by 10 and also have, a score that low, right? Or something like that. Personally, with the spread, I like the Steelers. I think, obviously, TJ Watt might be out, or I think he is out. But, I don't know. I feel like the Steelers aren't going to get embarrassed. I feel like the Bills will do some stupid stuff. I feel like they'll win the game in the end, but I don't think they're going to smoke the Steelers. I think the Steelers are going to be at least in the game. How do you feel?
Are you ready for the first spicy take of the day?
All right.
I am so bullish on the Steelers right now
Oh, yeah.
that even sans TJ Watt, I would have taken money line on this.
The
On
money
Steelers.
line that I'm seeing here on this website is 4.9.
I would have taken it. I would
Okay.
have taken it even lower.
Damn.
And I think there's a couple reasons why I say that. And I just like the Bills historically are just such choke artists.
They
Josh
are.
Allen,
Hmm.
so good for a couple turnovers
Yeah.
a game. They're not gelling, and surprisingly, Mason Rudolph has looked semi-competent.
I mean, I had to watch that whole Seahawks game wire to wire because their whole
And
season.
the run game is coming along at the
Yeah.
right time.
They.
I think if Steelers get a bit of a lead, they'll know how to protect it.
Yep.
And Josh Allen trying to play hero ball, I don't trust it. I've never trusted it. So,
I've
like,
never
I know
trusted
that
it.
we talk about spreads here, and I'm spread daddy,
Yeah.
but I would have hammered the money line
So you're
on this one. You know
taking
what?
the
This
Steelers
call,
money
I
line,
might have the money line on it.
and do you have any thoughts on the over under of 35.5?
I'm always going to be an under guy,
Yeah.
but if there's any game that I would take the over on, it's this one. So
Yeah,
I'm
that makes
locking in an
sense.
over here.
It's going to be cold though, so
I don't know.
we keep that in
34
mind.
is low though.
But like,
34 like or what, mid 30s, that's pretty low.
hmm and imagine our guy Josh throws a pick six or something. The over under's blown, or the over's cashing, right? Like,
Yeah. Like as much as it pains me to do it, like anytime it's like 40 and above, like I'm going to always lean under no matter what. But like mid 30s, that's like it's painful that like
yeah.
losing an under like
Hmm.
early in the third quarter or something like that is tough. So I'm rooting for points here, and I'm also rooting for the Steelers.
Okay, so it sounds like we're both on the Steelers. Uh, I'm on the spread. You're on the money line, and we're both thinking over 35. All right, so now
Yeah.
let's move on to the midday game. We got Green Bay at the Dallas Cowboys. Green Bay's getting 7 points, and the over under is 50.5. What do you think of this game off the top?
Yeah. All right. All right. I fucking hate Green Bay. I hate them so much.
Yeah.
But again, this is one I'm so confident that Jordan Love's gonna cook
Yeah.
this game, and they want to give me 7 on this. Like I'm taking Green Bay with the spread. I
Hmm.
might even do an alt spread that's even a little bit lower. I think
Oh,
Green Bay
okay.
just needs like 3.5, maybe. I would have taken that.
All right. That's interesting because you and I are on different sides of this one. I think this game is not going to be decided by the offenses. Both the offenses are pretty good. I think Dallas has the slight edge. But this game will be decided by the defenses. Um, Green Bay's defense is just so shreddable by a competent quarterback. Like, their pass D has been really bad. I think Dak gets in there and, makes them pay. And then Dallas is good for a few turnovers and big plays. Like, I think Dallas might be absolutely cooking Green Bay, but we're open to differences of opinion here. I can there's a reason they put the spreads on the games. Anything can happen. NFL is a cruel mistress in terms of predictions. So at least one of us will be right at the end of the day here. And
Yeah,
then
I gotta lock in with the old cheeseheads here.
yeah, okay.
And if they pull this off,
Mm-hmm.
I will eat like a block of cheddar on your next podcast.
Excellent. Yeah, just send me a pic. I'll tweet it.
Let's go.
um, then yeah, the over under is high, 50.5 in the dome in Jerry World. Yeah, I think
I'm taking under.
interesting. I feel like the under is the right call, but the over would be exciting. We both think that the offenses are gonna cook, and I don't know. I'm just getting flashbacks to that game where the Cowboys were playing the Lions. Both sides were just absolutely fleecing the other team on offense, like in the dome. There's no wind, everything's flying perfect. Dak's like figuring this stuff out on the line. CeeDee Lamb gets 200 yards. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's fair. I like it.
But at the same time, NFL will be calling into New York to ask for more unders. The Zebras will help the unders like they did at the beginning of the year.
I'm telling you, man. Like we talked about at the top,
I'll lock in the under. I'll lock in the under with you.
Farming hard. Vegas is farming so good right now. They're eating good.
Yeah. Now, we've got one of the most contentious matchups. Sunday Night Football. LA Rams at the Detroit Lions. Another dome matchup. The Rams, you can get 3 points, and the over-under is 51.5. I'll let you start this one off as well.
I think the line might have moved because this is actually like the first action that I took on the wild card weekend here.
Oh, okay.
Um, and I'm very bullish on the Rams pulling this one out.
Yeah.
As much as like we talked about already, not betting with your heart and like everything in my heart's like Detroit, you're that team now. You're ready. You're ready for the moment. And I think without Laporta,
Yeah,
like such a
that was a tough
reliable
loss.
target, or if he is going to play, like very hobbled. Uh,
hmm
I just feel like there's heartbreak brewing in Michigan, as it always is.
As it always
So,
is. In my season preview, I mentioned that I didn't predict the Lions to win the division, but what I did say that I think still is valid is that this is a franchise that exists to pain the fans that love them.
Yeah.
Like, can they break
Like,
the curse? Like,
there's such a big moment for everyone. It's big for the city of Detroit. It's big for Dan Campbell.
yeah,
It's big for Jared Goff. That's a lot of. I feel like the Rams just kind of came out of nowhere, and they do have high expectations of themselves now.
yeah.
But I think they're a team that's going to play a little bit more free. I think Detroit has more to lose in this game, and when Detroit has more to lose, historically, they've fell on their face.
And when was the
So
last time they made the playoffs, right? Because I was looking, and tickets to this game are really expensive. My friend who lives in Toronto was thinking about flying across the border and going to this game, and then he was like, wait, the Lions haven't had a home playoff game in forever. The people are going nuts. Like,
let alone a playoff win.
yeah, yeah.
So like,
But a home playoff game for this Detroit fan the Detroit fan base will be crazy. They're rabid for it, man. Like, they haven't gone to a home game in the playoffs forever.
I think the house gonna be rocking.
Oh yeah,
I'm really excited for this game. It's the
me
one I'm
too.
most excited about for sure.
I think,
Um,
like I said, I think
yeah,
Miami KC is the game of the weekend, but this is the one I'm the most excited for. I agree.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, also, like, not to mention the Stafford Goff trade gets a kind of a conclusion on Sunday night. Like, we get to
Yeah.
decide who, like, obviously the Rams took home their Super Bowl. Good for them. But now we get to see them play one another in the playoffs. Like, we can say,
Yeah.
like, the Rams got what they wanted out of the trade. I think the Lions did too. But now we get to see who won the trade, I think. Or like put
And
a
the thing
stamp
is,
on it.
man, just Detroit never is on the side that they want to be in these moments. So like whether it's voodoo, whether it's anything, Dan Campbell's shaking off a lot of the hexes, I would say.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Playoffs is a different beast.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen. And the over under is 51 and a half. They're thinking that the balls are going to be flying around, moving. I tend to agree. The Rams can
Yeah.
do stuff on defense, the Lions can, but I tend to think both these offenses are very dynamic. People will get their points. I'll take the
And
over on this one. I'm excited.
I'm taking
I
the
might be a
over.
mark. I'm excited.
I'm taking the over too, and we've seen it so many times that Dan Campbell's just an absolute psycho,
Yeah.
and will like go for like a fourth down conversion in his own
Yeah.
side of the field, and
Yeah.
that just
Yeah.
leads to points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether
Someone's
they
getting them.
convert, whether they don't,
Well,
it just leads
like
to
you said,
points.
if they're not converting, someone's getting the points. Like whether it's
Yeah.
the Rams or the
So
Lions, like those
play
sicko
style.
decisions lead to points on the board for somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
So gotta take the over on this one. As much as again, it always pains me to be a mark, and
yeah,
maybe Vegas is farming me, but it is what it is.
and then last game here we've got Philly at Tampa Bay, I believe. Yes,
Yeah.
which it seems crazy that Philly is at Tampa Bay because of the records, but of course Tampa Bay won their division, and Philly missed by a win there, unfortunately. The spread is 3. Tampa Bay are 3-point home dogs, and the over under is 43 and a half. The thing that comes to mind for me is I believe Jalen Hurts' first playoff game was against the Buccaneers. Um, Maybe a couple years ago. Either way, I had high hopes for Jalen that game, and I felt betrayed because he got absolutely cooked by their defense. This was like before he had really found his sea legs in the NFL and like figured things out. And now it's a kind of like I don't know, kind of another fortuitous moment that like their paths cross again in the playoffs. Uh, I don't know who to take with this spread. The spread is like just
That's a
sharp
scary
enough to keep
spread,
it
dude.
real interesting. Sorry.
That's a scary spread.
Oh yeah,
Like, it's a scary ass spread because it's like, is Baker that dude?
yeah,
Is Jalen gonna be that dude again? Like,
yeah. I feel like
it's tough.
if you're closing your eye, if you took all the results from this year, shook them up like a snow globe, and let the flakes fall, you'd be like, oh, Philadelphia is much better than Tampa Bay. That 3-point spread makes perfect sense. But if you took just like the last 6 weeks, you'd be like, oh, I'd be stupid not to take the Buccaneers at home with 3 points. Right?
Yeah. So I see that you're on the fence. I have this decision locked in, but it doesn't feel great. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel great. I had this locked in even like going into this week.
Yeah.
So while you hem and haw, I can go and let you know
Let me know.
that I'm taking the Bucks,
Yeah.
and
I think I'm
I
taking the Bucks as
would have
well.
taken them. I would have taken the money line as well.
Hmm.
But just give a little cushion because NFL's weird. I'll take the spread on this one for the Bucks. And it's just like Jalen Hurts has got that dislocated finger.
Yeah,
Apparently hasn't
that
thrown
looked
all
messed
week.
up. He was throwing West Side,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
unintentionally.
And the second piece of it is there's so many hit pieces coming out right now that your head coach who just took you to a Super Bowl is gonna get fired or like likely to be fired if
Yeah.
results are not good. I've never seen such little faith in the coach or team, which generally doesn't bother me when it's the media narrative. But it like just watching them play over the last couple of weeks, they also seem like they don't believe in
Yeah, I mean,
themselves.
like this team has had some strange like chemistry issues throughout the year, like AJ Brown kind of demanding more targets and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. I mean, that's pretty normal wide receiver behavior, but for whatever reason, it felt a bit pointed, considering he's like, a top wide receiver in the league when being used correctly. But yeah,
So
it's like the vibes are so bad for Philly, and I feel bad saying this because a lot of the people that do watch this pod weekly are Philly fans, and like I wish I could be saying better things, and I was really jazzed following them to the Super Bowl last year, and like when they were winning, I was really happy at that time. But like, I just have to like I'm here to report the news, not make it. Like I'm
yeah,
seeing bad results. I'm seeing bad vibes. I can't I can't lie to the people. And plus, I have to make a bet. And if I'm wrong, I look stupid. So I'm taking Tampa Bay, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the
yeah.
people.
Vibes are a currency in 2024. You know what I mean?
Look,
And the Eagles are in debt, I would say.
it's like they said on the Colbert Report like a decade ago. Um, I go with my gut because the gut has more nerve endings than your brain. Is that in fact? I don't know, but my gut told me it was, so I'm going with my gut.
Oh, that baby. Let's
Exactly.
lock in the lock and not look back, but like kind of. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like what I'll look at the screen with one eye because I'm scared a little.
Yeah. And this is an outdoor game. The over under is 43 and a half. Like we've been saying, I think all weekend we're farming unders unless the opportunity is too great to pass up on the over. I'm taking the under.
It's an under
I
kind of
don't
day.
really believe in the Buccaneers or Phillies offense to go buck wild this weekend. So yeah, it's an under kind of vibe to me.
Baker's also like a little dinged up as he always
Mm,
is too, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and like and you can toss it up in the end zone for Mike Evans all you want, but is that going to get you above 40, above 41, above 42? I don't know.
I don't know. I
'Cause-
think like if the Mike Evans anytime touchdown seems like an auto win for this weekend when there's no CMC. So if you want to do something fun like that, throw that in there
I
because
love
that
it.
that
I love
always
it.
pays. That guy is just a touchdown machine.
It's free. It's free.
It's free.
Vegas for all the farming they give you,
Yeah.
sometimes they like hand you a bone once
I
in a
mean,
while.
it's like that's like a bond. You buy it and then you look in your account later and there's more money.
Yeah. You get a nice little 4%,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
exactly. um, so that's the whole slate for the weekend. I'd like to say thanks for coming on. Uh, this has been the Hot Action Podcast. If you got any comments, throw them in the comments section. If you could hit like and or subscribe, I would appreciate that. You got anything to say, Spread Daddy?
Well, good luck out there. And if you need to, the self-exclusion is a wonderful tool,
It's
but
a good
hopefully you
option.
can see out the rest of these playoffs with good do all the best of luck.
Excellent. Thank you. Peace out. That's it.